So, you want a nice, beautiful, weed free lawn this season, but you're torn. Do you do it yourself or do you hire a company to do it for you? Well, there's many benefits and cons of doing each, and I'm going to walk you through each one of those today to see which one is in your best favor. To start off, why do we even want a beautiful weed free green lawn? Well, unfortunately, we live in a society where, impressions do matter. And they should matter. We want to take care of ourselves and make sure that our things in our household and ourselves are in order. Have you ever seen one of those houses? Heck, this might be your neighbor. They have a beautiful house, beautiful family, nice cars, but the lawn looks like crap and his weeds always spread to yours. That may not be the case, but if that is, you can't help but think that something just quite isn't there. Mr. Johnson, I don't know about that guy. I'm not sure he takes care of himself. But you look on the other side of your house. You have your neighbor who, drives a modest car, lives in a modest house, nothing fancy, maybe a bit outdated, but his lawn is pristine. Not a weed, not a dandelion to be found, and it's green and luscious all season long. You assume that neighbor, Mr. Richardson, is like, I don't know what it is about that guy, but he's a good man. We live in a society where impressions do matter, and your lawn is your home's first impression, so we do want to make it great. So let's start. If you did it yourself, do it yourself. There's several things that we need to take into account. We have something called a PRET analysis. The PRET analysis stands for the price, the risks, the effectiveness, and the time that it takes to do the full applications of fertilizer for the whole season. To start with price, we need to figure out how much fertilizer we need to purchase. So let's do it this way. Your fertilizer cost is going to equate to how large your lawn is, what the coverage area is per bag of fertilizer, and then how many bags of fertilizer you need to purchase. For an example, let's assume that it costs $30 for a quality bag of fertilizer from your local hardware store that you can use for each application. How many times do you need to apply your fertilizer each season? It really depends on the type of fertilizer you're doing, where you're from, what kind of results you're going for. But for the sake of the argument, let's just use 3 applications: spring, summer, and fall. And let's assume we're using the same fertilizer. So a $30 bag of fertilizer, on the very back of the bag, it's going to tell you how much coverage this bag offers. Let's assume that it covers 4,000 square feet. Now, I know that here in Calgary, just in Canada, we have lawns that on average are 2,500 square feet. So 2,500 divided by 4,000 is 63%. So one bag, it will take 63% of one bag to cover your lawn. So to do it 3 times, we need 2 bags of $30 fertilizer. So total, we've spent $60 on fertilizer. But next, we can't just go out there with beads of fertilizer in our hand and spread it out like that. We need a good application tool. So I usually recommend a Scott's Mini Guard. I'll put that in the description here, that you can purchase at your local hardware store once again, and it costs $40 to be able to have a way to apply that fertilizer. But it doesn't stop there. We need to take safety into account. You don't want to just be picking up the fertilizer, having the dust go into your eyes and your skin and whatnot. You need a good pack of nitro gloves, so $10 for a box, and then a good solid pair of safety glasses, $12.50. So total, we have spent, as a do-it-yourself person, $122.50 on doing your own fertilizer for this season. So that covers the P part of PRET, the price. Next, I want to get into the R, which stands for risks. Unfortunately, when it comes to fertilizer, you can mess it up. There are risks associated with this. If you over-apply, you will burn your lawn. If you under-apply, your lawn's not going to be achieving its full potential and weeds might start creeping in, and that's a whole new game that we need to worry about for taking care of there. So when it comes to doing it yourself, you really need to know what you're doing, and if you don't, you might want to at least start by hiring a company to walk you through this process. Third is effectiveness. Now, although buying fertilizer at a store can work, and each and every time I recommend using the brand Scott's, please don't go for the knockoff. Please don't go for the other brand name. Scott's is probably the best home fertilizer that you can purchase from Costco, Home Depot, Lowe's, etc. However, the fertilizer that you get through Scott's will never be compared to an actual lawn care company's. Here at Yard Dogs, we get a custom blended fertilizer that we source here locally in Alberta for the season that we're in and for the climate that we experience. Scott's, they have a huge brand of products, but they're mass producing that stuff, man. Like, they're making bags and bags of different types to cover all of North America based on mid-season, cool season, hot season grasses. So they can only have so many. A lawn care company should at least not use a store-bought product, but custom blended fertilizer to make sure that your lawn is pristine this entire season. So really double check the effectiveness of your brand and know that hiring a lawn care company should yield a better lawn than doing it yourself naturally, because they know what they're doing and they're using a higher quality fertilizer. Last but not least, time. Time is money. If you hire a lawn care company, it's as simple as calling the company, scheduling which program you want for the season, hanging up, and a good company should take care of it from there. No headaches, no messes. Doing it yourself, though, it takes some time. You're going to spend 60 minutes of time researching which fertilizer is best for you, 60 minutes for a trip to the local hardware store, picking up the product and coming home, and then about $30 30 minutes per application of fertilizer. So you spend about 3.5 hours per season on what you're doing. Again, I go into it. How much is your time worth? So far, the fertilizer isn't too expensive. We're $122.50 per season, but that yet doesn't include weed control. Now, weed control at the local hardware store is sort of almost a scam for how expensive it is. I think here in Canada, it's $40 for a good bottle of Killex or Weed Be Gone, and you got to use it quite generously to kill existing weeds that are there. Now, the whole process of why we even fertilize our lawn is to make a thick lawn that eventually doesn't need any herbicides, because the grass is thick, a nice carpet where weeds cannot thrive, period. But for this first season, we're spending $120.50 on fertilizer. You're going to go through at least 3 bottles, 4-liter jugs of Killex or Weed Be Gone if you buy the non-concentrated method. So right there is an additional $120 to your total purchase. Right then and there, it is more economical to choose a local lawn care company that specializes in fertilizer and weed control, because their usually general packages are about $200 to $230, and they just take care of it for you for the entire season. However, over time, as your lawn starts to get more and more lush, more and more thick, and you want to become more involved with your lawn, your need for herbicides should greatly be diminished as you can stay consistent with the fertilizer applications that you're doing season out. So I hope this paints a nice picture for you. What are the costs of doing it yourself? We're looking at about $240 for your first season versus hiring a company, usually $208 to $230 for the first season. And just keep in mind, whatever you do for your fertilizer and weed control, it's like going to the gym. You don't just do it one season, you're good to go for life. It's an ongoing process that you need to do every single season to keep it maintained, keep it strong, and keep it looking mighty good. That's everything. If you have any more questions, please feel free to leave a comment below, subscribe to our channel, and stay posted. We have some great content still coming your way, and we're so thankful for your time, and thank you for tuning in.